It's mailbag time here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. You got questions, you're in luck because I got answers as we got plenty to talk about. You guys sent in a couple trade ideas that we'll talk about, a little free agency and more. We'll go over all of that here on today's show. Before we do, folks, I want to make sure not only that you're subscribed to the Kansas City Chiefs Report, but you're also part of what we call the Noti Gang here on the channel. Those are the ones, the real ones, that have their notifications turned on, and they're the first to know when we have new content here on the channel. For daily Kansas City Chiefs news and rumors, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, live shows, watch parties, and more, you got to subscribe and turn on notifications. If you're in that Noti Gang, spam Noti Gang in the comments section. We'll get going here on the Chiefs Report. Rob Miller with a $2 super chat writes in, do we pick up any more free agents, corner, running back, or edge? Rob, here's my thinking, my state of mind, if you will, Rob. So we're going to get the roster cut down day coming up next week. And there is going to be some good players that end up getting cut, that don't make the 53-man rosters around the NFL. Obviously, you have the waiver wire and all that, and then you got players that got to clear waivers and others that won't even touch the waiver wire before they can sign. But with that said, I think that there is a decent number of quality corners that are going to be looking for homes elsewhere. And the biggest question mark for this Kansas City Chiefs team entering 2024 is the corner position. We know Trent McDuffie's a superstar, but he could potentially use some reinforcements. And Brett Veach, although he's got a championship quality roster here, we know this team is always looking to get better. Might be a Marshon Lattimore, might be a James Bradbury, one of those type of guys that they can get on a pretty cheap contract. I could see that happening. The other two, I'd be surprised, but corner I could see certainly as a possibility. Hawk Tua Forever writes in, I saw the first pitch at the Mets game. Hopefully they don't let her hit the drum at Arrowhead anytime soon. Could the Chiefs trade for Tyler Lockett? Great question there, Hawk Tua Forever. So let's talk Tyler Lockett for a moment. Tyler Lockett has had a very good career with the Seattle Seahawks. A Tulsa, Oklahoma native, my hometown. Shout out to the 918. He's been very good, and Seattle's been very lucky to have him. We know about his dad, of course, played for the Chiefs. He grew up going to Chiefs games. He was a Chiefs fan. And if he were to play for anyone other than the Seattle Seahawks, I think it would be the Kansas City Chiefs. And here's the reality of the situation, though. I don't think the Seattle Seahawks are trading Tyler Lockett. They just restructured his deal over the offseason. They're kind of going all in on what they got this year with a pretty good receiving core out there in Seattle with DK Metcalf and JSN and Tyler Lockett at part of the fold. But next year, his cap hit in Seattle is going to be about $31 million, which means they're not keeping him. They're not paying him $31 million next year. He will be released, and either he will retire or he will play for somebody else. Highly unlikely he's not back in Seattle next year. So although I don't think he's on the trade market, I don't think the Seahawks are trading him and ending up at Kansas City, I think there's a decent chance that he's a free agent next year, plays for, not a ton of money, and ends his career coming home to Kansas City with the Kansas City Chiefs and would be a very good fit for this Chiefs team next year. A veteran wide receiver that is well-liked, well-respected, that's still very productive. I think he'd be a good fit, but not right now. I think that's a guy to keep an eye on next offseason. Should the Chiefs trade for Tyler Lockett? If it's a possibility, if they can do so, would you do it? Type T for trade, P for pass. Way in the comments section. Let us know if you would trade for Tyler Lockett or not. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose two or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, home runs in baseball, all sorts of different sports and categories to choose from. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS for a $100 deposit match on your first deposit, folks. And here's what I got for Prize Picks looking ahead to the start of the football season, my friends, I got an entry that you're not going to want to pass up on. Looking ahead to week 1, I got Caleb Williams to have more than 236.5 passing yards. I got our old friend Tyreek Hill to have more than 90.5 receiving yards. Let's say I put $20 down and this hits. That turns into $60 on Prize Picks. Play along with me. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS for that $100 deposit match. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Prize Picks, proud partner of the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Check them out today. You will be glad you did. All right, next question. Our president, El Presidente, good to see you, checking in on the Chiefs Report, says, any chance we could trade for Marshon Lattimore? I think there's a chance, certainly so. And you wouldn't have to give up a ton. You'd have to take on the contract and all that. But what I'm more interested in is if he does get cut. And if he does get cut in the coming days, then sign him. Sign him, get him on a cheap contract, add him to that corner room. And think about this, all right? Let's just say, for all intents and purposes, that we and the Chiefs feel good about this corner room. That we say, you know what, we'll roll with what we got. What if there's an injury? What if somebody goes down? Somebody doesn't play up to expectations? Marshon Lattimore would be a nice insurance policy, would be a nice safety net. And although I wouldn't want to pay him a ton of money, the Chiefs have something that no one else, none of the 31 teams in the NFL can offer a player like Marshon Lattimore. They can say, you know what? Do you want to win a championship? We have a championship pedigree here. We're coming off back-to-back Super Bowls, and we're going to be right back in the thick of things again next year, this year, and for many years to come. Do you want that opportunity? It's right there for you. So for me, that's what I'd be telling Marshon Lattimore. Look, it's been rough in New Orleans. That team hasn't been good in a long time. Here's your chance. I think it could make sense for Kansas City here. Should the Chiefs trade for Marshon Lattimore? I say no, but I would revisit it if he's available in free agency, if he gets cut. What do you guys think? Y for yes, N for no. Let us know if you would trade for Lattimore or not. Lonnie wants to know, after the first 3 linebackers, who's next to fill the depth? Very good question, Lonnie. When I look at the Chiefs depth chart right now at the linebacker position, obviously you got Drew, Nick, and Leo holding down those linebacker spots. But I think Cam Jones is going to be solid. I like Jack Cochran a lot. Cole Christensen, we'll see. Curtis Jacobs was pretty decent in the preseason game. We'll see if he makes a roster spot. But this linebacker room, I think, is better than what people give it credit for, what it's recognized for. We've seen that Veach has done a good job not overpaying the linebacker room over the years. He's going to have to pay Nick Bolton here pretty soon. But I think it's very solid, and I think Drew's going to have another very good season as well. Time for about 1 or 2 more here. Next one says, I believe in Spivey. Grinding. Hey, I believe too. I like it. Let's believe. Let's do it. Darius says, Chiefs say things don't go as planned and our number 1 running back goes down. Are you comfortable with CEH and Prince taking a bulk of the snaps? No, I'm not. And I'll say this. This is a situation where I think you can wait. Here's what I mean, folks. If that situation were to happen, if Pacheco goes down, if you lose him, then let's go to the market. Let's make a potential trade, or let's go make a signing if that day comes. But I think CEH and Prince and Steele are good enough for your backup roles with Pacheco there. But I don't necessarily trust them if I have to have them as the primary back. That remains to be seen. So for me, that's kind of the situation I'm looking at this point with that running back room, is that if that situation were to occur, then we revisit it and the Chiefs potentially make a change and go find somebody. But at least for now, I would roll with where we're at there. Last question. Ryan wants to know, how are we feeling about a three-peat? Do you think it's on the table? Absolutely, it's on the table. And as I've said many times before, and I'll continue to reiterate, last year's roster was the worst in the Mahomes era. They were, the 3 seed last year? 3 seed, 4 seed? Had to play a wild card game, had to go on the road to Buffalo, on the road to Baltimore, and it still didn't matter. Still won the whole damn thing. This year's team's even better than last year. One of the best teams we've seen, I think, in the Mahomes era so far. Three-peat, they're the favorites. It's all on the table. It's Kansas City versus the world. Thanks for joining us here on the Chiefs Report for continuing Kansas City Chiefs coverage. Subscribe now for free. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time.